Okay, guys, I'm just going to start to briefly introduce and thank everyone again one more time. I appreciate everyone who has taken the time this evening. Again, I just want to shout out, I see there's people from all over the globe, some here on the island. This evening, we've got a special guest speaker from Noval. His name is Johan Febrier. And this evening, both myself, Linda, Brett, and Bobby are all here to just engage with you guys, give you a little bit more understanding of what opportunities are coming up. And Johan is going to specifically explain how you could get your hands on a $19,000 savings. So we're really looking forward to having you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to start by introducing Linda Bahar. She is one of the team leads here at RealtorDR, and she's also one of the top sales members. I am her personal assistant and life partner, Brittany, and we're here this evening to share with you guys the experience and the great resources that we've met working here, one being Johan. And Bobby and Brett, both the CEO and president of RealtorDR, are here this evening. And I'm going to hand it over to Brett so he can go through and share with you guys why he chose Dominican Republic and why you might want to as well.
Oh, can you guys hear me? There we go.
Yeah.
I found the Dominican Republic 20 years ago. And then I bought a business down here 16 years ago. When I retired from policing in Canada, I started doing real estate down in the Dominican for a multitude of reasons that we'll get into. But it was just a great place to come and learn. And we've built RealtorDR, me and Bobby, based on the premise of the Canadian lifestyle and trying to help people, relocate and have that life on the beach. So there's a few slides there, Brittany. There we go. So the 8 reasons why the Dominican Republic. I'm just going to briefly go over just a few things that maybe you guys know or don't know. So one thing that we talk about a lot is the cost of living. When you come to the Dominican Republic, our cost of living compared to living in Canada or the United States or even Europe is substantially lower. It's about 2/3 the cost to live down here. Food's a little bit cheaper. You're able to get into housing a lot cheaper. One thing that we noticed in the Canadian and US markets right now is we're going through an inflationary period with housing costs going through the roof. In the Dominican Republic, we also have inflation. It's nowhere near the age of living stays a little bit lower. So when we bring our Canadian dollars or American dollars to the Dominican, we're able to go a lot further with those dollars. Another thing that everyone obviously knows coming from Canada is that the weather down in the Dominican is the weather. It's 26 degrees to 34 degrees most days. We usually have about 300 days of sun per year, and it's really unbeatable. The beautiful thing about that, or about being on the North Coast where we're located mostly, is we haven't had a hurricane in 200 years. I know that's a big issue for a lot of people. But where we are, because of where we're situated, close to the border or close to the equator and on the Atlantic Ocean, it just keeps the climate tempered. So it doesn't matter if it's June, July, August, it's always the same. Now, the other things that I want to talk about that, we can talk about the weather all day long, but if you want to just go to the next slide there. Yeah. So the dollar to value ratio in the Dominican Republic and the Caribbean is, we're sitting at about 52 pesos to the American dollar. Now, what does that mean? It means that we can get a lot for that. A cup of coffee down in the Dominican Republic, we can still get for $1, $2, and I'm talking about a latte. If you go into the States, now you're going to Starbucks, we're looking at $5, $6, $7, $8 for a cup of coffee. So it's just the dollar allows us to just keep that lifestyle that we want. So anyone that's on a fixed income or retired or is a remote traveler, if you can live, you know, if you can earn in dollars from back home and live in pesos, you're much further ahead. Plus, a lot of people have had their homes in Canada and the United States, you know, really increase in value over the last, you know, 10 years. So when you sell your place in Canada for $1 million or so, and you bring your money down to the Dominican, you can buy a house with cash and put cash in your bank account, which puts you further ahead. It helps a person to, you know, feel a little more monetarily secure. Another thing that we have in the North Coast that we like is in the Cabarete Sosúa area, where we're primarily located, or we focus on. It's the largest concentration of expats on the island. Now, what's good about that is our grocery stores accommodate to that. One of the grocery stores has 45,000 American SKUs. So any kind of food that you're looking for from back home, we have it. We got lots of great schools up here. English, you can get along very well with English. I mean, learning Spanish is, you know, important, but it's not a necessity. And then also there's a lot of familiar culture as well as, you know, the Dominican culture. So it's a really nice melting pot that we have. When moving someplace, it's always nice to know if you have, you know, are you going to have good restaurants, and are you going to have good places to go out? And we have that in spades down here. We have Michelin star restaurants, we have beachfront restaurants, we have, you know, and then we have the junk restaurants like McDonald's and stuff that everyone likes to go to. But we still have, you know, everything that you would want from back home. But the one cool thing about living in the Dominican Republic that I found is the healthier you eat, the cheaper it costs. You know, when you're picking avocados off of trees and mangoes off of trees and not having to buy them from grocery stores, having all that fresh produce, fresh fish, it makes for a better, healthier life for everyone down here. So one thing that we also have in abundance is beautiful beaches, beautiful views. On the North Coast, we pride ourselves on how clean our beaches are, and how, you know, we're basically living in the jungle and on the beach all at the same time. We have mountains. The topography of the Dominican Republic is a little bit different than a lot of the other islands. We have a couple mountain ranges here that actually peak out at 10,000 feet. So in, you know, the winter time, there can actually be snow on the mountains. It does snow here, and that topography helps out quite a bit with the weather. This is where the hurricanes come in. The wind that comes off of the mountain ranges actually pushes a lot of the hurricane weather back into the ocean. So that's why we don't notice it as much here as other islands. Plus, we have some elevation, so we're not concerned so much about sea level rising as maybe some of the other islands in the Barbados or, you know, Antigua, where they're very shallow. So we have a lot of activities here on the North Coast. We're known for kiteboarding, windsurfing, surfing. We have Playa Encuentro, which is one of the best surf beaches in the Caribbean. We've had you know, the world-class events that have been taking place here. Cabarete is known for its wind. We have we call it beach bums and billionaires. We have some of the richest people in the world come to Cabarete in the Sosúa area just for the kiteboarding. We have people like Richard Branson and Elon Musk and people of that nature that come here. But we also have people, you know, like the average person can come here and enjoy what these guys seek out all over the world. Along with, you know, the water sports, we also have, you know, zip lining and waterfalls and hiking and motorcycle tracks, and it's just an endless array. And the lifestyle here also is very health oriented. We have yoga and a lot of gyms and a lot of nice things. So when someone's thinking about moving to the Dominican Republic, the big thing I want to tell you is quality of life. We're able to take you to the, you know, take you just up a little bit more. You're going to be able to live on the beach, eat great food, and keep money in your pocket. I've had nothing but an enjoyable time being down here, and I think it's one of the most beautiful places in the world to live.